Welcome to this explainer. Listen, if you're looking to optimize your fitness without wasting time or money, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're diving into source material that completely dismantles one of the most stubborn fitness myths out there. This idea that you absolutely must have specialized equipment to build a strong back. We are tossing out the need for expensive gear right now, and instead we're focusing purely on the science of movement as laid out in the research. So let's jump right in with a pretty hard truth. Millions of people spend years working out, sweating through countless reps, and yet they see absolutely zero back development. Why is that? Well, the research points out a massive trap that so many of us fall into. We think we're training our backs, but in reality, we're just flexing our biceps and doing arm movements. You can pull on things all day long, but without the right mechanics, your back muscles are practically taking a nap. Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the pull-up bar myth, 3 movement principles, home rowing, floor exercises, and finally, the horizontal limit.
All right, section 1, the pull-up bar myth. Why equipment doesn't equal results. Society has basically conditioned us to believe that the moment you want to train your back, you got to go buy a pull-up bar or a gym membership. But having a bar by itself solves absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, it's just a piece of metal.
Here's the issue. When most people approach a bar, or really any pulling exercise, they completely bypass their back muscles. Instead, they pull by simply bending their elbows and flexing their arms. They'll do dozens of reps this way and then wonder why their posture hasn't improved and their back hasn't grown. The equipment didn't fail them, their mechanics did. That brings us to section 2, 3 movement principles, the secret to back activation. Once you understand these core mechanics from the research, you realize you can train your back almost anywhere. Here is the massive aha moment of biomechanics we found in the sources. First, the pull must go towards the body. Don't think about pulling with your hands, think about driving your elbows back behind you. That lever action is what activates the lats, rhomboids, and traps. Second, you absolutely must squeeze your shoulder blades together. And third, keep your torso completely firm. If your body is relaxed and flopping around, you leak force. A tight core transmits the load exactly where it belongs.
There's a specific term we really need to focus on here: scapular retraction. According to the sources, this is the missing key for about 90% of people. It's the critical, often ignored action of pinching your shoulder blades together. Your back muscles simply do not engage properly until those shoulder blades pinch. Without this step, your back workout is literally just a very tiring bicep workout.
So how do we actually apply this? Let's get practical with section 3, home rowing, your progressive living room blueprint. The source material outlines a progressive routine that requires 0 vertical pulling gear, starting with the most accessible setup imaginable, the door frame row. Just open any door in your house and grip the frame with both hands. Lean back, keeping a perfectly straight line from your head down to your heels. If your hips drop, you lose the tension in your back, so stay rigid. Now, pull yourself forward by driving those elbows back and squeezing those shoulder blades. Sounds deceptively simple, right? But here is the catch. If you do this slowly, deliberately controlling your scapula on every single rep, most people can't complete 12 to 15 clean reps. So 15 is your target. Once you can easily do 15 perfect, slow reps of the door frame row, you've officially graduated. It's time to bump up the difficulty. The blueprint introduces level 2. The bed sheet row. Take a standard bed sheet or a long towel, tie a thick knot at one end, and toss it over a closed door so the knot sits on the other side. Grab the ends, lean back, and pull. This setup is brilliant because it allows for a much deeper range of motion. And here's the best part: you control the intensity. The further forward you step your feet toward the door, the heavier your body weight becomes. Now, before you go trying this, the material actually includes a critical and honestly very necessary warning. You must make sure that door is securely closed. Because if a family member innocently opens that door from the other side while you are mid-rep, well, let's just say your workout is going to end very suddenly and you will end up on the floor. Okay, let's say you want to bypass the door entirely. Enter the undertable row. Lie underneath a heavy, sturdy dining table. Grip the edge shoulder-width apart, keep your heels planted, and pull your chest up to the wood. Pause at the top, then lower slowly. If you keep your torso absolutely firm and don't let those hips sag, the intensity of this movement genuinely rivals a traditional pull-up. Moving right along to section 4, floor exercises, isolation, posture, and burning muscles. What if you don't even have a sturdy table? Well, you can still heavily isolate your mid-back and dramatically improve your posture without ever leaving the floor. This is a sequence of raises performed lying completely face down on the ground. First, the Y raise, arms out in front like a Y, which activates the lower traps to fight hunched posture. Next, the T raise, arms straight out to the sides, hitting the mid-back and rhomboids. Finally, the W raise, bending your elbows into a W shape to target the rear deltoids and shoulder stabilizers. It looks like a simple warm-up, but trust me, if you do 12 to 15 slow reps, pausing in the air for 2 seconds each time, your back is literally going to burn.
And if you want to increase the intensity of those floor raises, you really don't need heavy weights. Just grab a 1 kilo water bottle in each hand, because your fully extended arms act as incredibly long biomechanical levers. That tiny 1 kilo weight will feel astonishingly heavy. Physics is basically doing the heavy lifting for you here.
To finish off the floor routine, we have the Superman hold. Lying face down, you simultaneously lift your arms and legs off the ground, squeezing your glutes and your entire back. Yes, from the outside you might look a bit awkward, like you're trying to fly without taking off. But hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds and you will immediately feel that it is the ultimate test of strength for your entire posterior chain. Which brings us to Section 5, the horizontal limit, keeping expectations realistic. To be fully transparent and scientifically accurate, we need to talk about the honest limitations of an equipment-free routine based on the literature. All the exercises we just covered are horizontal pulling movements. They are absolutely incredible for your traps, rhomboids, rear deltoids, and lower back. Your lats are working, yes, but not to their absolute maximum. To achieve complete maximal development of the latissimus dorsi, those are the muscles that give you that wide back, you eventually need vertical pulling, like hanging from a bar or rings. There is just no total substitute for vertical motion. But until you have access to a bar, there is real work to do. Based on these concepts, the sources outline a highly actionable takeaway plan. Pick 2 to 3 exercises from this explainer. Do them twice a week. When they get easy, don't rush out to buy gear. Increase the difficulty by slowing down your reps, changing your foot angle to alter leverage, or extending those static hold times. Build your foundation right here in your living room. There is a quote directly from our source material that perfectly encapsulates everything we've talked about today. A strong back isn't built with equipment, it's built with correct movement. It is all about the mind-muscle connection, scapular retraction, and biomechanical leverage. Which leaves us with one final thought. If you spend the next few weeks mastering these home exercises, building that mind-muscle connection and strengthening those stabilizers, imagine what's going to happen. Are you ready to finally conquer the pull-up bar the next time you actually encounter one? Because you might just find that you are stronger than you've ever been. Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Now go put these principles into action.